right now you have a skill somewhere in your brain, something that you've learned professionally or personally that's worth at least $200 an hour to someone else that they would pay you for, but you don't know what that skill is. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to find it. Okay, so I've been talking about starting a side business for many years now. In fact, I wrote the book on it. And in my first book, Rich 20 Something, I talked about how when you want to start a side business, you want to start something on the side to bring in extra money in addition to your regular job. One of the big things that comes up is imposter syndrome. We always hope that we're going to be confident, but when it comes down to it, sometimes we're not always confident. And part of it is if you're new to doing business, you might wonder why someone would pay you for something that you're naturally good at. If you're starting a business with a skill that you already have, you might have what's called expert blindness. We talked about this yesterday. And if you are very good at something already, you become blind to the fact that it's valuable to society at large. And you sometimes will underprice yourself, a lot of times underprice yourself or undervalue yourself. Or if you are used to having a day job, that day job will classify you as a certain position, and that position with your job title will include a bunch of skills, and you price yourself at what the job is giving you per hour. So let's say that you're getting paid $120,000 a year. Well, over a normal work week through a normal work year, that's about $60 an hour, because it's like, let's say 40 hours a week times 50 weeks a year, it's about $60 an hour. Now, you're probably doing the work of 2 to 4 or more different professionals at your job, but you're not getting paid independent salaries, individual salaries for all those jobs. You're kind of just doing them as part of your position. You're doing a lot of things and calling it one thing. And if you were to look on the market, like the free marketplace of people who are hiring outside consultants or other businesses to handle their problems, those businesses are getting paid anywhere from 2 to 3x, usually what you're getting paid per hour to do the same thing at your company. So if you're getting paid $60 an hour on average at your company, that skill is probably worth between 120 and 180 bucks an hour. If you're getting paid more than $60 an hour based on your job, then your skills are going to be worth $200+ an hour. And that is actually pretty significant, because we oftentimes think of the value of our skills as what we're assigned to based on our position that we play at work, but that's not always the case. For me, for instance, I've already talked about the fact that one of my first aha moments of this was realizing that when I was getting paid as a tutor at Kaplan, which is a test prep company, they were paying me $18 an hour, and then they were charging families $100 an hour. And so that discrepancy, that $82 gap between what I was getting paid and what the company was getting paid, I saw, oh, there's a lot of value, extra value in that gap that I'm not getting because the company is getting that. And if I could reclaim that relationship with the customer, I could take more of that value, if not the whole thing. And that's what I ended up doing. Okay, so let's talk practical. What are 3 signals that you have a high value skill, that you have something that you could charge $100 or a few $100 an hour for? One signal is that people are always asking you for support, advice, feedback, guidance on this thing, especially unprompted, because they know through either your results you've gotten or through the grapevine, essentially, that you are a pro at whatever it is that you're good at, So this could be on the professional side. It could just be like strategy stuff, meetings you get pulled into, important decisions that people want to get your feedback on, your advice on. It could be more specific, like marketing, sales, operations, software stuff, like all the stuff on the professional side that you get looped in on, that people really value your opinion on. Start to think through conversations you've had, start to look for patterns, and think about what things people ask you for on a consistent basis professionally. Personally too, even if people are asking you to get support or guidance or some feedback on things like, for me, it was like diet and training. People saw me at the gym, and I was always into to training. And for a while, I did bodybuilding shows. People would see me get into this crazy contest shape, and then they would start to ask me about my training, about my nutrition, about how I would get ready for competitions. And that's an opening where I never charged for it, because that wasn't my career path. But that could have been the way to open up client relationships. That could have been the way to open up a business, essentially, because I'm looking at what people are already asking for. There's already the demand for this. So I'm saying, oh, actually, you can pay for it over here. And so it's almost like jujitsu in a way. It's like I see the energies going over here and I just direct it over there. That's kind of what I love about business. When you get it right, you're just flowing with it, right? So you're looking to where the demand already is. So in your professional life, you probably already have some demand. You can start to look at that. What skills are people asking you to help them with? I mean, hell, if you got a big truck and your friends are always asking you to move, then maybe you should start a moving company. I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but the demand is already there, right? And so look for where the demand already is in your professional and personal life, and you'll start to see where your high value skills lie. Another example of a high value skill would be something that you can naturally do faster than other people. Now, I get it. I get that we're in AI world now, so everyone can do everything fast. But again, AI is only good at, it's a pattern recognition machine. It's an amazing machine, but the decision-making process of learning how to build something, it can still take a long time if you are not seasoned and skilled and very experienced. Just because AI can execute something quickly doesn't mean that it can move projects along quickly if it doesn't know what to do. And so you might find that you can sort out a problem much more quickly than others, even if you have access to the same tools. Because most of the, I mean, there are levels to this game, right? But most tools are accessible to most people now. Whether it's, I mean, the internet and a cell phone alone solve 98% of problems now in terms of like access to information. And so if all the tools are available, then really the key is decision making with those available tools that everyone has access to. And if you can solve problems faster than other people, then you will still have a high value skill. So it could be, for instance, that if you are, let's say you're helping a company do a turnaround and you're specifically looking at their marketing and you're looking through their channels and you're looking at what types of content they're putting out and you're making an assessment of this. AI can do a lot of analysis. It can do some content creation. It can do some pretty amazing things with graphics. It can do the grunt work of it. But if you can, if you can get results, I guess isn't that the crux of it all? Getting results. That's kind of what I've been trying to say. If you can get results for your clientele faster than other people, obviously you want to have quality results, but if you can do it faster, you'll pretty much always get paid more. The idea of a quick turnaround has always been attractive to the consumer, whether it's a business consumer or a consumer, and you can charge a premium for something. And the thing is too, if you are already really good at something, you might be able to do it quickly and not think anything of it. Because again, that this whole expert blindness thing of, oh, I'm just naturally good at this and whatever. But it's like, yeah, if you can, and even like just in terms of quantity of work you can do. Let's say, for instance, you own a landscaping company, which might honestly be like a pretty good side business. It can turn into a full business quickly, but you can definitely make it into a side business, especially if you have some experience, you have some equipment. But let's say, for instance, you're able to do twice as many houses as the next person because you either have better equipment in terms of like twice as many as the next landscaper. You have better equipment or you have a better method around it. If you can do twice as many houses, then you can double your money at the same time. And that is a way of having a high value skill because you're essentially doubling your revenue per hour just by increasing your speed. So even if the actual end user isn't paying you double the price, if you can fit more of the same quality of work into the same time block, then you're effectively still doubling your rates. So this is a good example of, again, speed kills, and the quicker you can get something done, cost in a cost-effective way, the more you'll get paid. I mean, I guess third signal, really, if you want to talk about high-value skills, is really just someone else is charging healthily for it. If you have to do your research. Like once you start, so let me back it up. If you haven't thought of what skills you should use or what skills you should monetize, you need to use my skill audit, which is based on my best-selling book, Rich 20-something, and it will take you through an interview series of questions where it dissects your personal and professional life. It acts as your therapist. You can use it with a voice chat. It's really nice. And you it basically extracts your most high value skills, and then it gives you the market rates for those skills based on research, and it just helps you to get the ball rolling. It's really impressive. You can check it out in the description box below. But once you have that research, especially, you're going to know that other people are doing the thing that you want to do, and so that alone gives you permission. That alone gives you the authority to price yourself well. I got to just tell you, when it comes to pricing expertise, the difference in skill between someone charging $50 an hour and someone charging $500 an hour is not 10x. I mean, think about attorneys, for instance. Yeah, you want to have a good attorney, but someone who's charging $500 an hour or $5,000 an hour, the difference isn't their skill set. The difference is the prestige and positioning. You know, Johnny Cochran has to go to court for OJ, and if he's not there for OJ, he's going to be there with someone else. So his time is very expensive. And someone who's not as in high demand, their time won't be worth as much, but it has nothing to do with how good they are necessarily, to a point. Even in the creative field, it's like there are so many incredible musicians, for instance, who have voices that are just as good or better than the stars, but they're not getting paid the same amount because it's not about how good they are in terms of how much they're compensated for that. It's really about their positioning. And so, yes, they have the talent and they are exceptional, but it's the positioning that really allows you to get that extra cream on the top. And that's kind of how it is with expertise. At a certain point, you are going to be highly skilled, but past a certain level, you're positioning yourself and you're using your confidence to build authority and to charge based on how you perceive yourself and how you want others to perceive you, not in pure dollars to value with the market. There's a perceptual bias. Even when I trade in the morning, and I do my day trade in the morning, and I look at what different companies do to the overall market. If Nvidia is having a crazy day or Google or whatever, and it's driving the whole market up, that's not necessarily based on the underlying value of the stock. Yes, that's part of it, but a lot of it is also hype and projection and also fears of what's going on in the market outside of the control of the companies. And so a lot of it comes down to fugazi. It's all fugazi. But positioning is a big part of it, seriously. And so just know that if other people are doing it and they're charging a lot, you can also charge a lot too. You don't need to charge the top of your industry if you're still building confidence, and you should build up to that. But there's no reason why you can't. And oftentimes it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of the more that you charge, the more that you give yourself license to charge. You set a new baseline. And of course, all this is in service of Bridge to Business, which is my new program we just launched, which combines the power of AI models trained on my best-selling books and teachings, plus real-life mentorship with me and the community of a small group of peers who are going to help you as you build a business in 8 weeks and make it profitable and have fun doing it with the time you have in between, taking care of the kids and the family and living your life and working your job. And we'll show you how to do it all with Claude, baby, or it could be GPT, or it could be Gemini, whatever your flavor is, but we're building it with technology. So if you're into that, applications are below and you can apply while they're open. They'll be closing soon. And that's it for today. So in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.